What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and as usual, we're going to be going over the charts. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. As you guys know, I like to follow the charts. I don't really care about the news, although there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news. It's all been in the charts. So far, this has all played out as we have expected it to in the charts. I'm going to show you some crazy charts at the end. I want to show you Binance, the BNB coin compared to the FTT coin. Also, we're going to take a look at Cardano's chart at the end. You guys are going to want to see this, so definitely stick around for the whole video. But first, we're going to go over the Dow, the DXY, and then Bitcoin. Guys, I think this is real close to the top for traditional markets, and I've been talking about this for a while. I do think it is going to be much worse than people are expecting. That is not fear mongering. That there is plenty of opportunity to come in huge bear markets. If you guys have looked at like back in 1929 at all, what happened with the Dow Jones, it took like 40 years to recover, right? But those people that bought the crash had generational wealth, and I think that's what's coming. And I'll show you a real quick Dow Jones chart. This looks almost like the exact same thing playing out all over again, if you can see it here. This was back in the Great Depression. You can see the pattern. You guys know I'm a huge fan of patterns. But this looks to be playing out a lot the same. Does it have to go down this low? Not necessarily, but always, you know, you've got to be prepared for what could happen. And let's see how long that took to recover, right? So this was the bottom in 1932. It took till 1954, so 22 years before it broke that high again. So all these people that were holding up here were at a loss for 22 years. Most of them probably died before it got back into profit. But those that bought down here had 22 years of rise, right? Actually, a lot more than that. But those that bought down here made generational wealth. I think the same type thing could be happening for Bitcoin also. As you guys know, we've been looking at this as a possible ending fifth wave diagonal. We did hit our first target, that 34.4, but like I said, it could get as high as this 34.7, and that would be coming up to retest this daily trend line right up here. It's possible. It doesn't have to. It could definitely just go down from here, and if it does, Bitcoin will probably go lower also. And we've had the same targets forever. We're going to go over that. Guys, if you watch this channel, you know I don't throw a million indicators on there. I don't try to sell you courses. That's what the scammers do, the people that really don't know what they're doing. If they knew how to trade, they wouldn't have to sell courses. If you're buying their courses, you're buying their bad habits. I've explained this a million times over. If you talk to people that are in those courses, they don't stay long because they lose their ass. There is no cookie cutter program. You have to put the time in. You have to do your research. You have to put thousands of hours into the charts. If you're not dedicated to do that, you shouldn't be trying to trade, right? So let's take a look at what's going on. Like I said, we hit our first target here. Let's look at the weekly real quick. The weekly. And don't forget, we will be going over Binance, BNB, and FTT token at the end. If you guys would, though, before we go any further, make sure you go down, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments, let me know what you think of the video, and also share the video, get it out there. And when you smash those likes, look down. If there isn't 2,000 likes, make sure to smash those likes. All right, so you can see yesterday we had this little dump here, and I showed you guys this hidden bearish divergence, right? Remember, when you're looking at the RSI, you don't look at the wicks, you look at the bodies. The RSI moves with the body of the candle, not the wick, right? So we had this high here, this lower high here, this high here, higher high here, hidden bearish divergence. We've been talking about this. What's hidden divergence? It's a continuation of the trend. So hidden bearish is a continuation of the downtrend. I think we have a lot lower to go there, guys. All right, let's take a look at the DXY. So the DXY, as you guys know, I've been watching this 200 EMA for support. Also, this channel here, we retested it for support again. I do think our next stop's 122 in the coming months. I do think we'll probably get some rejection there, which I think Bitcoin will be at its false bottom, and we'll be talking about that soon. But when it hits here, I think Bitcoin will have a big rally from the point that it's at, which we're going to be talking about where it's going to be, for a false bottom sometime in February or March. Get a rally, probably 100% rally, but 100% from 75 or 8,500 is only 15 to 16,000, right? But great opportunity to make some quick money there. And then for the ultimate bottom in 2023, we'll talk about that also. But so far, this all looks to be playing out beautifully. But what happens when 122 breaks? Probably sometime in June, maybe between April and June, probably, when it comes back up to break this, right? So that's after a pullback from testing it. And if that is to happen, where could it go? We're going to take a look at the weekly. So our next target is looking at this falling wedge that we've been talking about for years that we broke out of. Our measured move target of that is about 178. Now, if we wanted to make a lower one, we could go from this B wave right here, bring it down, and that one would get us to approximately 169, which would still break this high right here. So definitely possible. I do think we're getting between 160 and 180 when this is all said and done, most likely. If you guys are interested in trading before we get into Bitcoin, definitely check out Prime XBT, by far my favorite exchange. They do help support the channel. Also, you can join the contest section here. So no risk on the exchange. All you do is join the contest and you can win prizes. Some of them 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. You can't pull that money out, but you can use it to trade and keep the winnings. So definitely check them out if you haven't. Awesome exchange. I don't trade against you like the scammy exchanges. They are an A-book exchange, not a B-book exchange. Do some research, know the difference. You can trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything all from one exchange, even pre-markets and after markets, without paying extra fees. So definitely check them out. Links down below. I'll also leave a video at the end of the video, a tutorial, or you can just go over to my YouTube page and find the tutorial. But so far, this is all looking pretty bearish, guys. Here's the 4 hour we've been watching, right? So on the 4 hour, looking at this as a falling wedge, right? That target's about 12.6. But as you guys know, I have a weekly target of 14.5 that we've had for months, like 3 or 4 months, right? I do think that we should probably get a bounce here, maybe come back up to test the 15.4 after that, once we get down to these levels. But if this does break, we could see the 12.6, 12.7 area a little bit quicker, right? But we'll take a look at time frames and everything else here in a minute. But as of right now, I posted this morning on my Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you give me a follow. But right here, we made higher highs in the RSI. We go in there. What did we just talk about? Hidden bearish divergence, right? And if we go over here, we take them same highs. We made higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price action. And that's hidden bearish divergence, guys. What way is the trend going? The trend is going down. So hidden bearish is a continuation of the trend, right? So you guys could go over to my wife's webpage. I'll talk about that in a second. And she actually has mouse pads with divergence cheat sheet on it. So if that stuff confuses you, you can have it right next to your computer. I'll show you that here in a minute. But let's take a look at the daily. So on the daily, same thing. If there's a few different ways to look at this on the daily, right? We could have this huge descending triangle here. That measured move is the 79, and it doesn't mean we go straight down there. I've explained this over and over. We're also playing with this trend line here on the RSI, bouncing around on it still. We'll see what happens, but we're going to zoom in for smaller time frame targets here in a minute. Just wanted to show you guys, if you guys were around for this, when we broke this here at 19.5, I called for the 21.5 to be the target, and that was just a measured move. And guys, every video, you can go back and watch all my videos. You'll get bits and pieces of all that stuff. Most of you guys know all I use is EMAs and the RSI. That's it for indicators, right? These people are using a million different indicators. You're just going to confuse yourself. I'm not saying to use the indicators I use, but I'm saying only use a couple. And the RSI is a true indicator. It's not lagging. It's actually up-to-date time. And the EMAs stay pretty tight with the time also. And I do have an EMA strategy that I made a video on. You can find that on my YouTube page too in the short tutorials. But let's take a look at where we're at here. So let's look at this as a possible falling wedge, right? We can put it up here like this, however you'd like to do it. But, you know, it could end up getting all the way back up into these ranges, possibly as high as 17.2, 17.3 if it gets a push up, right? To go from the bottom to the top, bottom to top, depending on where this is. But as of right now, like I said, we are showing hidden bearish divergence. This is the daily. Let's see where this daily closes. If the daily closes, let's see, if the daily closes below 16.6, then we're going to confirm some more hidden bearish divergence on the daily, right? And continuation to the downside. Like I said, this 14.5, I'll show you. This 14.5 is a measured move of this rising broadening wedge right here from when we broke down. We started talking about that back in August. We broke somewhere in the middle of August. So we made that target of 14.5, which I'm still saying we're most likely going to hit that. And I drew this in. Might look something like this to get a bounce with timing, right? So get to that 14.5, maybe get a bounce back up to the 17.2, 17.3 area sometime in February-ish, and then have our January or February, and then have our dump back down to that 75 to 8,500, which I believe is going to be the false bottom. And then that would be sometime in February or March, get a rally all the way up to, you know, maybe this 14.5 level again. So from 75 or 8,500 to 14.5 would be a 70 to 100% rally, right? Great place to put in some longs or buy some and just takes profits on the way up. And I do think we'll get a rejection sometime in May or June and continuation to the downside to our ultimate target of 35 to 4,500. Does this have to happen? Absolutely not. But it's definitely looking like it may. And remember this weekly RSI right here, guys. Once this breaks, everyone's going to get super, super bullish, right? Because it's a weekly trend line on the RSI. But remember, we're really watching the monthly. But if this breaks, that will line up with here. And I'll show you on a chart. I'm not going to go through it on this chart. I'll show you on a chart exactly what I'm looking for. But here's the monthly, right? We keep getting rejected on the monthly RSI right here. Bearish as hell. There's nothing more to say about that. So looking at the .com bubble over on the left-hand side, we made these charts on December 2nd. I also made a video talking about this. You can go back and check it out. But this would be our false bottom. These timing, these tops and these bottoms all line up. The timing, right? All of them. Almost perfectly. So if we get down here to the false bottom area would be sometime in March. But it doesn't have to be exact. February, March, April. But we're looking for this, you know, I have it here measured out as possibly as low as like 6,500. But anyway, we're going to be looking for a false bottom in that area and a big rally. Now, this was a 120% rally. Doesn't look like it on the weekly. That's why these people watching the 4-hour time frames and making emergency videos on a 4-hour time frame. It's bullish. Bitcoin bottom. Impossible to know. When you're looking at a big weekly chart, the bottom is going to take a long time, guys. There's going to be plenty of time to buy down here. This stretch from right here where we had the false bottom all the way over to till it broke again was about a year at the bottom. It's right here. You can see it made an inverse head and shoulders. We might see the same type thing here, and I'll show you in the next chart. But as you can see, I drew in right here what this may look like, right? So when it actually breaks sometime in February or March, we're going to get our false bottom rally, get everyone bullish, only to come back down and make a lower low. Sometime in August, September, October, somewhere in there is where I expect the ultimate bottom to be. If everything works out and Bitcoin comes out of this unscathed. Because remember, we're going to talk about the BNB compared to FTT, and then we're going to look at the ADA, the Cardano chart, right? So definitely want to stick around for that. Don't forget, guys, smash those thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you like these daily updates. All right, let's take a look at, this is the same thing. Amazon.com bubble on the left, And on the right, we have the Bitcoin bubble, right? So if it was to bottom, and this, see, people think that it's so negative calling a $35,000 to $45,000 or $35,000 to $4,500 bottom. Really, there is so much opportunity here. Like I showed you in the Dow in the beginning, right? So much opportunity. So if you were, and there's no guarantee this will play out, right? But if it does, can you imagine how much money you can make here? Even if you didn't trade, if you just bought, if you bought in the middle or end of 2023, you sold in the middle or end of 2024, that's a 10x. And then wait about 3 years, there's plenty of opportunity to be trading in all these. But I'm just saying, if you were just buying and selling, right? And then wait till mid 2028, sell again. If it was to play out like this, you'd have probably, buy however many more Bitcoin. And then you have a 5x run, maybe all the way into 2029, middle or end 2029, and then sell it and then buy back again in the middle of 2026. This would be huge, guys. Do you see these prices? That would be huge. Again, it's not guaranteed, but I'm following this until it's broken. And so far, it's playing out beautifully. You can see here too, this is just another chart. This is the Amazon weekly. Throw it on top of the Bitcoin weekly, and undeniably playing out, guys. And like I said, if you want to, if you have problems with divergence, hidden divergence, bullish divergence, regular divergence, definitely check out my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com, link down below. She makes a lot of cool stuff on there, not just that, but the mouse pad, she sells a lot of them. Them are right here. But tons of stuff on here. She can put anything you want on any of this stuff. Definitely check it out. All right. On the left, we have FTT. We all know what happened to FTX, right? And that you, like I said, I like to look at patterns. I don't care what's going on in the news. And I told you back here, right? When we first made this comparison, I told you that there was going to be a crypto scam washout. That's exactly what's happening, guys. Exactly. It was all in the charts. FTT, you can see what happened here. Broke down. This is just a another bubble pop pattern, right? Same thing Binance is doing, guys. Be careful. Binance is looking like it's BNB coin is looking like it's in trouble. Same stuff was going on over here. Is that what Binance is doing? I don't know, but it sure looks like the same thing. Be careful with it. Now let's look at Cardano. Cardano, we've had this Cardano, whatever. 88, shitcoin, whatever you want to call it. All right, you can see same thing, bubble pop pattern, right? We've had this for quite some time. Now I'm going to show you some targets and how I got them. We're going to start by zooming in here, right? So the first one right here was just the break of this. That gets us to 28, right? Right now we're getting rejected on the daily at the 8 EMA, right? Then where do we get our next target? Well, our next target is from the break of this trend. We bring that down. That gets us to the 22 level. Then let's take a look at our next big areas. So once we break the 22.19 level, I see us. And guys, if you think this chart looks good, I don't know what's wrong with you. But anyways, let me go in here. All right, so if we look at this white trend line as the top of this falling triangle or wedge right here, that gives us a measured move from where it broke down to about 1.5 cents. Is that possible? Hell yes, it's possible. Is it guaranteed? No. Now, if we use this as the top trend line on the yellow and we take that measured move, where does that get us? Actually, it's a little bit lower than that. About 8 cents. I used to have 6 cents on there, but re-looking at it, think about it, 8 cents. 8 cents, somewhere in that range is what I'm looking for. So ultimately, these are my low lows. Now, does that mean it goes up to new all-time highs? Absolutely not. What I think will happen is, if you've ever watched a penny stock die, which I've watched many, is you get stuff like this. It just, comes up, might come down here, might get one more rally here. So there's still money to be made if you want to trade this crap, but holding it, I don't think is a good idea. But I could be wrong. Do what you got to do. So far, everything I've been saying was going to happen with all of these coins, all this stuff has been so far happening. And until something changes, which nothing has changed, I'm going to stick with my charts. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, smash the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you tick that notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Remember, we will be doing 2 members videos this week because I didn't get to do one last week where we go over looking for opportunities in the stock market, crypto trades, everything. Whatever you guys want to do, they will be live. So not sure exactly what day. Follow me on Twitter. I'll post it on Twitter before, and I'll try to get the video up, you know, like an hour before it actually begins. So anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. Love you guys. Have a great day. I'm out.